Hare Krishna Mataji. Are you able to see the screen, Mataji?
Yes, Madaji. Yes. Both, I can see you also. Your video is also available.
Hare Bol. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So, yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. So today we'll start from Shloka 14. The pure devotional service, remembrance of Krishna through bhakti. So earlier we saw through meditation, now through bhakti. By constant engagement in devotional service, one who undeviatingly remembers Krishna easily attains the Lord's abode far from this material world. So, Hare Krishna Mataji, can you please read the shloka and translation, Mataji, 14?
Sure, Madaji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Shloka 8.14. Ananyachetaha satatam yomam smaradi nityashah tasyaham sulabha partha nitya nityayuktasya yoginah. Hare Krishna. Translation: for one who always remembers me without devotion, I am easy to obtain. O son of Pratha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So here Krishna is saying that for one who always remembers me without deviation, I am very easy to attain. So why is Krishna easy to attain for such a person? Because that person is constantly engaged in devotional service. See, earlier in the Gita, Krishna, he spoke about different kinds of people who come to him, who come to Krishna. So those who are distressed, those who are inquisitive, those who want money, and those who want knowledge. So all of them are pious and all of them are devotees to some extent. But here Krishna is speaking about the pure devotee. The pure devotee is called Ananya Chetaha, meaning what? He wants nothing except Krishna. He does not want even heavenly enjoyment, liberation, merging into Brahman, that is impersonal Brahma Jyoti, or he does not want any siddhis, mystic powers, or even freedom from suffering. He simply wants to serve and please Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada in the purport he says such a devotee is nishkama, desireless. Because he has no personal desire, he is always peaceful. But others want something for themselves, so they can never be fully peaceful. Others, in the sense, the four other pious people, which Krishna was saying. So that is why Krishna says, for such a devotee, I am easy to obtain. Why? Because Krishna is pleased not by scholarship, austerity, or yoga strength, but how? By love and sincerity. A pure devotee always thinks of Krishna, not sometimes, but always. And for him, it does not matter where he lives. Even if he is not in Vrindavana, his heart becomes Vrindavan because Krishna is there. He is residing in his heart. And we can see Prabhupada also in the purport, he quotes Advaita Acharya. He says from Chaitanya Charitamrita, wherever the Lord is, that place is Vrindavan. So such a devotee, he can serve Krishna as a servant, as a friend, as a parent, or as a lover. Okay, maybe in any of these rasas, he may serve Krishna. So in any rasa, there is constant remembrance and loving service. And also, Krishna also promises, he's saying to such a devotee, he personally gives intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam. Why? Why does he give that intelligence, Krishna? So that the devotee can come back to him. Prabhupada says, A pure devotee never forgets Krishna even for a moment. And Krishna also, he never forgets his pure devotee even for a moment. So this is a great blessing of Bhakti Yoga. And how does one begin this pure devotion? What is the starting? It is simple. How? By chanting Hare Krishna. So that is why Prabhupada says Bhakti Yoga is simple, natural, and joyful. And it is the highest path recommended by Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So let's go to 8.15. Mataji, can you please read the shloka and translation, Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes. Hare Krishna, Shloka 8.15. Mam ubetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashwatam nanuvandi mahatmanah
Napnuvanti, Mataji. Sorry.
ma-
Napnuvanti.
mapnuvanti mahatmanah samsiddhim paramam gataha. Hare Krishna.
Hari bol. Hari bol.
After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries because they have attained the highest perfection. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So in this verse, Krishna, he's speaking about the final success of life. He's saying, after attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world. Why don't they return? Because they know this world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam, a place full of miseries, and it is not permanent. So dukkhalayam means it's a place full of miseries. Ashashvatam, it is not permanent. See, no matter how comfortable life looks in this material world, this world has birth, old age, disease, and death. So these are the main problems, common problems of everybody. So when a soul finally reaches Krishna, why does he want to come again to this horrible material place, which is full of suffering, dukkhalayam, and it is not even permanent, it is temporary. So, what happens to such souls? They reach Krishna Loka or Goloka Vrindavan, the supreme planet. So, how is that planet, Goloka Vrindavana, described in the Vedas? It is avyakta. Avyakta means it is beyond material vision. The material people can't see it. Akshara, never destroyed. It is eternal. That spiritual planet is eternal, Goloka Vrindavan. And it is Akshara. It is never destroyed. It is never destroyed like the material planets. Paramagati. So, and that is the highest destination for jivas. Okay, so the spiritual planet, it is not imaginary. Okay, it is real, eternal, and full of bliss. Okay. Now, who goes to Golok Vrindavan? So Krishna is saying in the shloka, Mahatmas, great souls. And who is a Mahatma? A Mahatma is not someone who wants power, liberation, or even heaven. A Mahatma is one who wants only Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada, he makes a very deep point here. Even after reaching the spiritual world, pure devotees do not desire anything else, not even spiritual planets. They don't think, let me enjoy Vaikuntha. They don't think like that. Or let me just enjoy in Goloka Vrindavan. No, they think only, let me be with Krishna and serve Krishna. Let me do devotional service to Krishna. But how do the Mahatmas, they come to this stage? How do they come to this stage? By hearing from realized devotees, associating with devotees, practicing Krishna consciousness. And when their devotion becomes mature, they become fully absorbed in loving service. So for such Mahatmas, there is no returning to this material life, no more suffering, no more repeated birth and death. Okay. So Hare Krishna Mataji, can you please read the Shloka 16 and translation, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Madaji. Yes, Madaji. Hare Krishna. Shloka 8.16. Hare Krishna.
Sorry,
Brahma.
Mataji. Sorry for stopping. You can memorize the previous shloka and this shloka also, Mataji.
15 and 16, na Madaji?
Yeah, 15 and 16, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Just a minute, I'll write down here in this book. Okay,
Yes.
Madaji. Hare
Yes.
Krishna. Shloka 8.16. Brahma Bhuvanal Lokaha Punaravartinorjuna Mamuvetyatu Kaundeya Punarjanma na Vidyate. Hare Krishna.
Very good.
Translation: from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, in this verse, Krishna explains the real condition of the material world. He's saying, from the highest planet to the lowest planet, all are places of misery. So, what does this mean? It includes earth, heaven, Indraloka, Chandraloka, even the highest planet in the universe, Brahmaloka or Satyaloka, is not free from suffering. Why? Because everywhere in the material world there is repeated birth and death. See, even if someone goes to heaven after doing good karma, when their pious karma gets over, they must again come back to this material world. See, it's just like you go on a vacation for some time, for some days, and then you have to again come back home, right? You can't say always be on vacation, right? So you have to come back. So, similarly, the higher planets are temporary. So Krishna says, but one who attains my abode, he never takes birth again. So that means if we reach Krishna's planet, there is no return, no birth, no death, no suffering. So Srila Prabhupada, he explains an important point here. He's saying all kinds of yogis, whether they be karma yogis, jnana yogis, hatha yogis, all must finally come to Bhakti Yoga. So without Krishna consciousness, no one can go to Krishna's abode. See, actually some people, they perform sacrifices and somehow they reach Brahmaloka. Okay, with the Brahmaloka, which is the highest planet in the material universe. But even from Brahmaloka, if they do not develop Krishna consciousness, or even when they reach Brahmaloka, they don't practice Krishna consciousness, they must fall down again to the earthly planet. But however, those who practice Bhakti Yoga sincerely, even on the Brahmaloka or any of the higher planets, Krishna personally transfers his devotees to the spiritual world. So, what do we understand from the shloka? Higher planets are temporary. We should never think that Swargaloka or even the higher planets are permanent. No, they are temporary. Material happiness will always end. Okay, only Krishna's abode is permanent. And what is the way to reach it? Only Bhakti Yoga is the way to reach. So, if we want no more birth and death, we must develop Krishna consciousness and remember Krishna always. Okay, so in the right hand PPT, we can see, right? Here, See, all are places of misery. Now we can see heaven. Heaven also, Indra is always worried. It's not a place of peace. Though it is temporary, he's always worried. He has all these sufferings. If anybody does 1,000 Ashwamedha Yagna, he is worried about his place, his position as king in heaven. So that's why there is always a constant war between demons and the demigods. And on the earthly planet, we see two countries are always fighting, right? There is always a problem there. Besides they being temporary, but there is so much of suffering. Okay, hell also we know it is like totally more painful. Okay, so that's why we should not try to go to heaven, higher planets or lower planets, or stay on earth. The only safest way is take to Krishna consciousness and go back to Krishna and stay, do devotional service to Krishna in Goloka, Vrindavan. Okay, so let's go to next shloka. So here we'll see the difference between the spiritual world and the material world, and glories of the um, supreme abode. Oh, I think shlokas are not there. So I'll try to open. Hare Krishna Mataji, can you please read the shloka number 17 and translation?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Shloka 8.17. So, Hare Krishna. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Ahar Yat Brahmano Viduhu Ratrim Yuga Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Teho Ratra Vido Janaha. Hare Krishna.
Very good.
Translation: by human calculation, a thousand ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here Krishna is saying 1,000 yuga cycles together make one day of Brahma, and 1,000 cycles make his night. So what is a yuga? So we know there are 4 yugas and they repeat again and again. So first Satya Yuga. Satya Yuga is a yuga where it is full of truth, purity and religion. And what is the duration? 1,728,000 years. And Treta Yuga, the piety slightly decreases. Duration is 1,296,000 years. And Dwapara Yuga, religion and morality reduce further, and the duration is 864,000 years. And Kali Yuga, the age we are in now, it is like full of quarrel and hypocrisy. There is ignorance, irreligion, everything. So the duration of Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. Okay, so the duration is like Kali Yuga is like 432,000 years, and that doubles in Dwapara and becomes 864,000, and that triples in Treta Yuga, and it quadruples in Satya Yuga. So that is the duration. See, we've seen the lifespan. So in Kali Yuga, it is like it is like 4,32,000, and twice of Kali Yuga is Treta, and thrice of Kali Yuga is Dwapara, and then 4 times is Satya Yuga. Okay, so we have now only passed about 5,000 years in Kali Yuga. See, one cycle of 4 yugas is called a Mahayuga. So one cycle means what? One full cycle means Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali. So that is one full cycle. So one full cycle of 4 yugas is called a Mahayuga. And 1,000 such Mahayugas is one day of Brahma. And another 1,000 Mahayugas is one night of Brahma. So during Brahma's day, the universe is active. During Brahma's night, everything is dissolved and is at rest. So Brahma, he lives for such 100 years. So we can imagine, see, when we calculate this in human time, Brahma's age per our earthly time, it comes to 311 trillion 40 billion earth years. So that is the duration of Brahma. So this count looks unimaginable to us. What a long span we think, right? But Srila Prabhupada, he explains in the purport a very important point. Even this long life of Brahma is temporary. Okay, so if we see from the eternity viewpoint of eternity, Brahma's life is like a lightning flash. Okay, so see, if we our lifespan is, for instance, they say 100 years, right? But when we compare the ant's lifetime, maybe it stays. I'm not sure how many days, but so for instance, if we say 10 days is the lifespan of an ant, that is equal to its 100 years. For us, it may seem nothing, right? Our lifespan is 100. That is our 100. That is the ant's 100 and 100 years, and that is Brahma's 100 years. Even though it is so long for us, so it is Brahma's 100 years. So when we see from viewpoint of eternity, Brahma's life is like a lightning flash. It just passes like that. Okay, so all the Brahma is the highest living being in the material universe. He too is born, he too becomes old, he also dies. Okay, so even Brahmaloka, the highest planet, is not permanent. And many great sannyasis reach Brahmaloka, but they also must leave when Brahma's life ends. Okay, but why is Brahma special? Because Brahma, he is always engaged in the direct devotional service of Krishna. So that's why he attains liberation. At the end, he is transferred to the spiritual world. So, what do we understand from the shloka? Even the longest material life is, that is Brahmaloka, that is also temporary. Even the highest material planet, Brahmaloka, is destroyed. So, what is eternal? Only the spiritual world is eternal. Only bhakti to Krishna takes us beyond time. Okay, so instead of aiming for long life or higher planets, we should aim for Krishna. We should practice Krishna consciousness. So that alone takes us beyond birth and death. Okay, so that we have to understand. So now let's see 18th shloka. Hare Krishna Mataji, can you please read shloka 18 and shloka and translation, please?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Shloka 8.18. Avyaktaad vyaktayah sarvaha prabhavandi aharagame ratri agame praliyande tatraiva vyakta samyake.
Haribol, Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Translation. At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state. and thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, in this verse, Lord Krishna explains how creation and destruction repeatedly happen within this material universe. So, beginning of Brahma's day, that is what creation. At the start of Brahma's day, what happens? All living entities come out from their unmanifest state. Okay, so they're not visible. But when Brahma's day starts, all the unmanifest jivas, they become manifest. So it means that the soul receives material bodies. They become active again in the material world. Okay, so we should understand the souls already exist, but their bodies were not visible before creation. So we should not think that new souls are being created every time. Right? So the souls already exist, but their bodies were not visible for creation. So creation, it does not mean new souls are created. It means souls receive bodies again to continue their karma. Okay? So this is day of Brahma. Night of Brahma is what? It means dissolution. Okay, every day and night this happens. In the day of Brahma, what happens? Creation takes place. Everybody becomes active. And again at the end of day means night. At night time, dissolution. All the material planets get dissolved in that pralaya. Right? That means they are, so that means when Brahma's night begins, the entire universe is withdrawn. So it goes into Lord Vishnu. All living beings lose their bodies. They enter the unmanifest state again. So it is just like a deep sleep of the universe. The living entities, the jivas are not destroyed. The souls are not destroyed. They just remain inactive, waiting for the next creation. Okay, so this process happens day after day, night after night, lifetime after lifetime. Creation, maintenance, dissolution, it happens like this continuously. So the soul keeps coming up and down again and again, as long as it stays in material consciousness. Okay, so what does this verse show? Material existence is temporary. Even universal creation is not permanent. The material, don't think we are temporary. The jivas are temporary. Even the planet itself is temporary. So what is permanent? Only the soul is permanent. Soul is eternal. Only Krishna's abode is beyond creation and destruction. So that is why Krishna says, one who reaches my abode never returns to this material world. See, we'll just take a simple example. It's just like we wake up in the morning. So that is a day of Brahma. And again we sleep at night. That is night of Brahma. Right? Similarly, the entire universe wakes up and sleeps. So as long as we are attached to material life, we must keep repeating this cycle. But by Bhakti Yoga and chanting Hare Krishna, we can go beyond this cycle forever. Okay. So shloka number 19 and Mataji, can you please read the shloka and translation, please?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Shloka 8.19. Puragramah sa evayam bhutva praliyate yatriyagame avashah partha prabhavati Nitya Aharagame. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Translation. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being. And with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So in this verse, Lord Krishna is explaining how the material world works again and again without any exception. So Krishna is saying this is a continuous process. Okay, it works, the material world, it becomes manifest. Again, it is destroyed. Again, it is manifest. Again, it is unmanifest. It repeatedly it happens. So repeated creation and destruction happens. So Krishna says that again and again, when Brahma's day begins, all living beings come into existence. They, for their karma, they receive bodies and they get a chance to do their activities in the material world. Okay, and again, when Brahma's night comes, all living beings are again annihilated. Their bodies are finished. They can see the people, they can't do anything. They can do nothing to stop it. This process. So this process happens automatically by the laws of material nature. This we have to understand. We can't stop it. So the material nature, it is manifest, unmanifest. Manifest, this process continues. Okay. But so what does annihilated mean? See, annihilation does not mean that the soul is destroyed. See, when annihilation takes place, we should not understand that everything is destroyed. Okay, so your soul is not destroyed. It means when annihilation takes place, only the body is destroyed. The soul is kept in a dormant condition. Okay, so all living entities remain packed within the body of Lord Vishnu. It's just like during deep sleep. What happens? Our activities stop. Right? When we are sleeping, what happens? We don't do any activity. Our body is inactive, but we still exist, right? We are still there, right? So similarly, during Brahma's night, the universe goes into cosmic sleep. So daytime means activity, nighttime means rest. So during the Brahma's day, living beings get different bodies, and some live on higher planets, some live on lower planets. So everyone, they perform karma, right? Like that. At night, again, dissolution happens. Dissolution means what? No planets exist. No bodies exist. There is no activity. Then again, when Brahma's next day starts, everything begins again. So that's why this verse says, Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate, means it is created again and again, destroyed again and again. So we should understand, even higher planets are not safe. Some people, they think, if I go to higher planets, I'm safe. But Prabhupada explains, even those on higher planets must also face annihilation. Nobody can escape the cycle inside this material world. Whether one is high or low, everyone is bound. So what is real intelligence? Real intelligence means asking, why should I keep coming and going like this? The Prabhupada says, only those who are less intelligent, they try to adjust within the material world. But intelligent persons, they use this rare human life to take to Krishna consciousness, chant Hare Krishna, serve the Lord with devotion. So, by practicing Bhakti Yoga, even while living in this body, one becomes spiritually situated. One gets transferred to Krishna's planet. One never returns to the cycle again. And goes where? To Goloka Vrindavan, where that place is eternal, blissful, and free from birth and death. Okay, so this material work, what do we understand from the shloka? So this material world works in repetition. It comes and goes, manifest, unmanifest. Okay, creation and destruction, right? But Krishna consciousness gives liberation. So instead of going up and down again and again, we can go back to Krishna once and forever. We can finish our duties in this material world and go back to Krishna. Okay, let's go to the next shloka. So, Hare Krishna. Mataji, can you please read the shloka and translation, please? 20.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Shloka 8.20. Hare Krishna. Parastasmat tupavonyo avyekto vektad sanadanaha yaha sa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyastu na vinashyati. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Translation. Hare Krishna. Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in the world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here, after explaining that this material world is created and destroyed again and again, now Lord Krishna is giving us a great hope. What is that? He's saying here in the shloka, yet there is another nature. Okay, actually there are two natures. Two natures exist. So Krishna explains that there are two types of nature. The material nature and spiritual nature. So the material nature gets created, exists for some time, and gets destroyed. So this happens again and again during Brahma's every day and every night. But Krishna says there is another nature which is unmanifest. We cannot see it with material eyes. It is eternal, transcendental, never destroyed. Even when this material universe is destroyed and all planets disappear, even Brahma's world ends, that spiritual nature remains exactly the same. Okay? So what is that eternal nature? Eternal nature means what? The spiritual world, Krishna's own energy. It is called Krishna Loka or Vaikuntha Loka or Goloka Vrindavan. So if you go there, there is no birth, no death, no old age, and no destruction. Everything there is permanent and blissful. It is completely opposite to this material world. So Prabhupada explains that the spiritual energy is completely opposite to material energy. See, this material world is temporary, it is full of anxiety, it is always changing. But the spiritual world is permanent, full of peace, full of knowledge and bliss. Nothing is lost there. So that Krishna is telling us, don't think that everything ends with destruction. Only the material covering ends. The real spiritual world, it exists, it continues. And that is our real home. Okay, so what do we understand from this shloka? We have two options. Okay, if you want to stay in this material world, so you undergo repeated birth and death. If you want to go to the spiritual world, then there is no return back to this material world. Okay, and how do we do that? Do practice Bhakti Yoga. Only Bhakti Yoga takes us there to Goloka Vrindavan. So instead of struggling in something temporary, we should aim for that eternal place. So we are all struggling here, right? In something temporary. So we should aim for that permanent thing. Okay. So let's go to 21. Hare Krishna. Mataji, can you please read 21 shloka and translation, please?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Shloka 8.21. Avyetokshara idi yuktastamashu.
Mataji, sorry for stopping. Ityuktas or iti uktas?
Itiktas.
Ityuktas or iti uktas?
Idi uktas or itiktas tamahuhu paramam gati yam prapya na nivartande tat dhama paramam mama. Hare Krishna. Translation: that which the Vedantis describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns, and is my supreme abode. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So, in this verse, Lord Krishna clearly explains what is his supreme abode. He's saying that that place which the Vedantists call unmanifest and infallible, that place which is the supreme destination, and after reaching which one never comes back, that place is my abode. So, what does this unmanifest mean? So, unmanifest does not mean imaginary or void. See, it means it's beyond our material eyes. See, just like, see, radio waves are present, but can we see them? No, we can't see them. See, electricity is present, but can we see it? No. Like that, similarly, the spiritual world exists, but we cannot see it with our material eyes. And infallible, what does infallible mean? It never breaks. See, the material world is fallible. Means what? It gets destroyed. All the planets in the material world get destroyed. The bodies die. Even Brahma dies. But Krishna's abode is infallible. Means no destruction, no loss, no ending. Once you go there, you never fall down. You don't come back to this material world. The people are always searching for happiness, peace, for security. So Krishna is saying that final destination everyone is looking for, that is my abode. There is no higher place that exists beyond it. And how is that place? How does it look like? That Goloka Vrindavan? So Srila Prabhupada, he explains in Brahma Samhita how Goloka Vrindavan is. Okay, so there houses are made of chintamani. Chintamani means touchstone. Touchstone means what? Whatever in this material world, if it is, if you touch that touchstone to iron, it becomes gold. Okay, so that is the position of Goloka Vrindavan. Houses are made of such chintamani stones. And how are the trees? Trees are wish fulfilling desire trees. So if you stand under the tree in Goloka Vrindavan, you ask for anything, samosa or biryani or gulab jamun or whatever, anything that tree fulfills, it gives you anything. And the cows give unlimited milk. Here in this material world, cows, morning little bit milk they give and evening little bit milk they give. But there, cows give unlimited milk all the time. And everything is conscious, alive, and joyful there. Every item is like conscious, like rivers are conscious, trees are conscious, even Krishna's flute is conscious, the pots are conscious, everything. The dust of Vrindavan is conscious. So everything is conscious, alive and joyful. And finally, Krishna himself lives there in Goloka Vrindavan. So, okay, so he's a person. So we have to understand Krishna is not formless there. He's playing his flute. He's wearing a peacock feather. He's with lotus eyes. He's more beautiful than thousands of Cupid. And he's served by thousands of Lakshmis. Lovingly he served, not out of duty, but pure love. So, Krishna and his abode are not different. See, just like fire and heat are inseparable. Similarly, where Krishna is, that place is spiritual. Where Krishna is remembered, that place becomes spiritual. Okay, so the Vrindavan in India that we see is not an ordinary land. It's a replica of Goloka Vrindavan. So that is why devotees feel peace and devotion when they go there. So Krishna is telling us very clearly, there is a permanent world. There is a place with no return. That place is my personal abode. And how can you attain my personal abode, Goloka Vrindavan? By Bhakti Yoga. Okay, it starts with chanting of the holy name. Okay, so let's go to shloka number 22. Hare Krishna. Mataji, can you please read shloka 22 and translation, please?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Shloka 8.22. Purushaha sa param partha.
Paraha, Mataji, sorry. Paraha.
Paraha partha bhaktya lephyas ananyaya.
Mataji, sorry. It's tvananya, tvananya or tu ananyaya.
Mataji, can you please repeat?
Yeah, it is tu ananyaya or tvananyaya.
Bhaktya lephyas tvananyaya. Okay, Mataji.
Haribol, yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, yasyandah stani bhutani yena sarvam idam tadam. Hare Krishna.
Haribol, Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all-pervading and everything is situated within him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, Krishna is now giving the final, very clear conclusion. He's saying that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than everyone and everything, he can be attained only by pure devotion, not by argument, not by intelligence, not by severe yoga or speculation, but only by bhakti. So this is very important to understand, because Krishna is a person, and a person is reached by love, not by force or mental gymnastics. Okay, so Krishna, he lives in his own supreme abode, which is completely spiritual and full of bliss. So nothing there is material. Everything there is alive, conscious, and joyful. Even the variety there is spiritual. Well, I mean, the variety that you see there is spiritual variety. It's not like the temporary variety we see in this world. So that place never gets destroyed. And once someone reaches there, he never has to come back to this world of birth and death. At the same time, although Krishna is always in his own abode. He is present everywhere. We have to understand this. Okay, though Krishna is present in Goloka Vrindavan, doesn't mean he's not there in this material world. He's present here in this material world through his energies. Okay, by his spiritual energy and material energy. Right? So it's like just like a huge tree stands in one place, but it's the tree spreads its branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits everywhere. Similarly, Krishna, he remains in Goloka Vrindavan, yet he expands himself unlimitedly through his energies. So everything in both the material world and the spiritual world is resting on Krishna. It's within Krishna. So everything is within Krishna. The material world and the spiritual world is resting within Krishna. So nothing exists independently. Okay, still he remains completely unaffected. How? We are saying everything is within Krishna, but still he is unaffected. It's just like this. See, the sun remains pure, even though it evaporates dirty water, right? So that is the inconceivable potency of Krishna. We can't imagine his energies, they're so powerful. Okay, so Krishna, he also expands into many beautiful forms, such as we know Narayana, Vasudeva, Madhava, Keshava, and many other forms. Okay, like so each presiding over different Vaikuntha planets. They all have their separate Vaikuntha planets. But the original source of all these forms is Krishna himself. Okay, we may see Narayana, Vishnu, Narsimha. So all these forms, okay, are different forms of Krishna. Krishna is the original source. Okay, though he is one, he becomes many, but still he remains one. We should know that. So, the most important point is that entry into Krishna's abode is possible only by devotion. No other process can take us there, right? Not even knowledge, not even karma or yoga, right? So, only see, we need knowledge, karma, or yoga to purify us to some extent. Okay, but without bhakti, one cannot reach the Supreme Person. Therefore, Krishna, he very clearly uses the word bhaktya only by devotional service. So, Krishna is far away for those who are proud or self centered, but he's very near to the devotee who serves him with love and remembrance. Right? So this we have to remember. So this is the great mercy of Bhakti Yoga. Okay. So now let's go to shloka number 23. Okay. The supremacy of devotion in attaining the Supreme. So in 23 to 26, we'll see attaining the Supreme through mystic yoga. And then we'll see in the last conclusion, supremacy, how bhakti is the ultimate in attaining Krishna. So, Hare Krishna Mataji, can you please read shloka 23 and translation, Mataji?
Hare Krishna, yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Shloka 8.23 Yatra kale tva anavrittim
To anavrittim or tvanavrittim, Mataji.
Yatra kale tvanavrittim avrittim chaiva yoginah prayada Yandi tam kalam vakshyami Paradarshabha.
Haribol.
Paradarshabha. Hare Krishna. O best of the Bharadas, I shall now explain to you the different times at which passing away from this world the yogi does or does not come back. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now, as we said right in the previous thing, we are saying how the mystic yogis, other people who other than who do bhakti, how do they leave their body? Okay, what happens to them? That we'll see here. So now Krishna tells Arjuna that he will now describe the different times at which a yogi leaves the body and how, based on that, one may return back to the material world or may not return. So, what are the conditions for that yogi? When will he come back to this material world or will he not come back to this material world? Okay, but before going into those details, Srila Prabhupada he gives a very important, very clear point. A pure devotee of Krishna, he does not worry at all about the time, place, or method of death. Okay, a devotee is not bothered at what time he is leaving his body, at what, in which place, or how he is dying. Why? Because such a devotee is fully surrendered. He simply depends on Krishna and leaves everything in his hands. So, because of that complete surrender, that devotee naturally and happily he goes back to Godhead without any fear or calculation. But why are we discussing this particular point now? It is for people who are not pure devotees. So those who follow karma yoga, gnana yoga, or hatha yoga, they depend on a lot of rules, processes, and correct conditions. So for them, the time of leaving the body becomes very significant. See, if such a yogi is perfect, for instance, he's a very highly elevated yogi, maybe he can consciously choose when to leave the body. But if he's just a neophyte yogi or a very fresh yogi, then he has not perfected his life, right? By doing hatha yoga or whatever yogas, then his future depends on whether he leaves the body at a favorable time or not. So, Krishna is speaking about these timings mainly for such yogis, but not for devotees. So, devotee's path is simple. He remembers Krishna, he serves Krishna, and trusts Krishna. Right? So, that's why it's not for a devotee. It is for other yogis, like maybe a karma yogi, hatha yogi, ashtanga yogi, or a gnana yogi, for them. Okay? So, now let's see. Um, Okay, I think the shloka is not given.
Shloka is not there, Mataji.
One second, Mataji. Yeah. Can you please read the shloka and translation, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Shloka 8.24. Hare Krishna. Agnir Jyotir Ahaha Shuklaha Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayada Gechandi Brahma Vido Janaha. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Translation. Hare Krishna. Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the fiery God in the light at the auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels to the north. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Let me just come back to that page. Okay. Okay. So here Krishna is explaining the path followed by those who are not pure devotees, but who know the Supreme Brahman through yoga and impersonal realization. Okay, he says that if such a person leaves the body at certain favorable times, what is that favorable time? If such a person, if such a neophyte yogi, he leaves at what time? When there is light, daytime, or the bright fortnight of the moon, or when the sun is moving northward. So northward means it is Uttarayana. Uttarayana means it comes from Jan to June. In between the months of, if he dies between the months of January and June, that is called Uttarayana. Okay? Then that soul can reach the Supreme Brahman. So these are considered auspicious conditions. So now what does this mean? It does not mean that fire or light or day or the moon themselves give liberation. So Srila Prabhupada explains that behind all these are actually presiding deities. Okay. It's not just that fire, light, day, or moon. Because behind all these, they are presiding deities. So we have moon deity or sun deity or fire deity. We have, right? Agni Dev and everybody. So at the time of death, the mind carries the soul and these higher controllers arrange. Higher controllers means these deities. Okay? When soul is prepared to leave the body, these deities, these higher controlling demigods, arrange the passage of the soul to its next destination. They help. But for an advanced yogi, all this is not needed. Okay, he can automatically choose when he wants to leave at a very nice time. Okay, so they can choose their time, the atmosphere, the situation in which they are leaving the body. So by leaving at such an auspicious time, they can attain, they can only go up till impersonal Brahma effulgence. And then they can avoid rebirth, right? But for most people, there is no such control. See, most of the people in this world, there is no such control. They don't know how they will die. See, if someone accidentally dies at a favorable time, okay, he may attain that higher destination. But what if not? If not, what happens? There is every chance that he may return again to the cycle of birth and death. Right? So this path is uncertain and depends on time, chance, and favorable conditions. Right? So we can't say that I will die only in the Uttarayana time, I will only die. For a normal person, it is not possible. I will die only at this, when there is light, when there is fire. It is not possible. Right? So that's why, but for a pure devotee of Krishna, none of this matters. A devotee does not depend on light or darkness, day or night, waxing or waning moon, whether northward or southward the sun is going. Why? Because the devotee depends only on Krishna. Okay, so whether a devotee he leaves the body at an auspicious moment or an inauspicious one, by arrangement or by accident, there is no fear of returning to this material world. Why? Because Krishna personally takes charge of his devotee. Okay, so this is the greatness of bhakti. That is why bhakti is superior. It is simple, direct, and safe. And it does not depend on time, circumstance. It just depends on remembrance of Krishna. Okay, so what do we understand from the shloka? calculation of time may help impersonalists. Okay, in impersonalists also, advanced impersonalist, maybe there is a chance that he can select his favorable time, everything, but the ultimate he reaches is only impersonal Brahman. And if it's a neophyte yogi, or anybody, any common person, he doesn't know when he will leave his body, right? So that's why it's better to surrender to Krishna, do a devotional service. So then Krishna takes care, right? We don't need to depend on whether we are dying at a good time or a bad time or a favorable accident by accident, or by some people they die by when in coma. So we don't have to worry. Devotees don't have to worry about that. Just do devotional service when you were on this planet. Remember Krishna, and rest of all, Krishna will take care. Okay, so 8.25. Let's see that. Hare Krishna. Mataji, can you please read Shloka 25 and translation, please?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Motherji. Hare Krishna. Shloka 8.25. Dhumo Ratristadha Krishnaha Shanmasa Dakshinayanam Tatra Chandramasam Masam Jyotir Yogi Prapya Nivartade. Hare Krishna. Translation. Hare Krishna. The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the fortnight of the waning moon, or the 6 months from the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet, but again comes back. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Okay, now Krishna is explaining the opposite path. See what happens when a person leaves the body under unfavorable conditions, right? We don't know how a common person dies, right? He can't select a time or something like that, right? So Krishna is explaining what happens when a person leaves the body under unfavorable conditions. He says that what are those unfavorable conditions? He says that if one passes away, leaves his body during smoke, night, the dark fortnight of the moon, or when the sun is moving southward, then the soul does not attain liberation. Instead, what happens to such a person? He reaches the moon planet and then comes back again to the material world. Okay, Srila Prabhupada, he explains, see, those who are expert in fruitative activities like performing sacrifices, rituals, and pious works with material intentions. So such people, they can go to the higher planets like the moon. Okay, at the time of death, if they live under these conditions, if they leave their body under these conditions, they are first carried by higher arrangement to Chandraloka. Okay, so such people, Karmakandi people, they are first, if they do all these pious activities, they go first to Chandraloka. There on the moon planet, as we know, moon planet is like a heavenly planet. So we can imagine the happiness is more than the earthly planet. Okay, and there are higher beings there, and the standard of enjoyment is much greater than on earth. So there, such souls live for thousands of years by heavenly calculation, and there they enjoy pleasure, especially somarasa. They drink somarasa there. But what do we have to understand? Prabhupada says, even going to moon planet, it is not permanent. When our pious karma is credit is over, we again have to come back to earth. Again, we have to take birth, again struggle, again perform karma. So, even though it looks like we have made some progress, we are still loitering. We are still staying in the repeated cycle of birth and death. Okay. So, all this discussion that we were doing about smoke and light, night and day, moon and sun applies only to those who are not pure devotees. A devotee of Krishna does not go to the moon, nor does he depend on such paths. He does not want to go to all these heavenly planets. No. He goes directly to Krishna and he never returns. So, Krishna is teaching Arjuna, and people like all of us, through Arjuna, he is teaching all of us also that material elevation, even to heavenly planets, is temporary. Only devotion to Krishna frees one completely from coming back again. So we can see in the PPT, right? Yogis and Jnanis, in light they attain Brahmajyoti. Karmakandis in darkness, what happens? They attain heavenly planets and then again return back to earth. But for a devotee, no time period, any time, they attain Krishna Loka because they are always remembering Krishna. So Krishna takes care of them. So they finally attain Krishna Loka, Goloka, Vrindavan. Okay. Okay. So where is Shloka 26? It's not there. I think I have to open the
8.27.
Okay. Can you please read Shloka 26 and translation and Shloka Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes. Hare Krishna, Shloka 8.26. Shukla Krishne Gedi Hya Ite
He yete or yete? Mataji.
Hete. Okay, Mataji. Shukla Krishne Gedi Hete Jakataha Shashwate Mate Ekeya Yadi Ana Vrittim Anyeya Vartade Punaha. Anyeya Vartade Punaha. Hare Krishna.
Anyaya vartate. Anyaya vartate. Punaha Mataji.
Anyeya Vartade Punaha.
Haribol, yes.
Translation. According to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but when he passes in darkness, he returns. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So, Krishna says that according to the Vedas, there are only two broad paths by which a soul leaves this world. So, one is called the path of light, and the other is called path of darkness. So, the result of these two paths is completely different. Okay, so when a person leaves the body by the path of light, he does not come back to this material world. His journey ends there. But when a person leaves by the path of darkness, he has to return again. Another birth, another body, another cycle. So Srila Prabhupada says that most people fall in these two groups. What are those two groups? Fruitive workers and philosophical speculators. Okay, fruitive workers are those people, we know that they do sacrifices, charity, rituals, but with material desires. So they want enjoyment, promotion to higher planets, comfort, prestige. They want. And how about philosophical speculators? They are those people who try to understand truth only by logic and intelligence. Okay, they speculate, they don't surrender to God. Only by, they just want knowledge. And through knowledge, they speculate. Oh, it could be like this, like this, like this, but they don't know anything correct. They just speculate. So, both these people, Krishna is saying, they keep going up, coming down, going up, coming down. So, they keep coming. Going up means they go to heavenly planets, again, they come down to the material planet. Okay. So, sometimes they may rise to higher planets, sometimes they again fall back to earth. So, birth after birth, the journey continues. So, even though it may look like they are advanced, they do not reach the final goal. Why? Because they don't surrender to Krishna. So, we should know what is the important point here. So the real issue is not about light or darkness, day or night, north or south. The real issue is we have to surrender to Krishna. Without surrender to Krishna, no path gives permanent freedom. Okay, so one may travel for a long time, but what should we understand? The return ticket is still there. We have to come back. See. Okay, so that is why, because even if you go to higher planets, heavenly planets, you once your pious credit is over, you have to come back. The return ticket is still there. So that is why Krishna consciousness is separate from all these processes. So a devotee, he does not calculate the time or anything of such sort. His destination is fixed because he is always doing remembrance of Krishna, because his heart is always fixed on Krishna. And because of that surrender, he does not come back again to this material world. Okay, so now let's see 8.27. Hare Krishna Mataji, can you please read the sloka 27 and translation, please?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Sloka 8.27. Hare Krishna. Naide Shruti Partha Janan Yogi Muhyadi Kashchana Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Yoga Yukto Bhavarjuna. Hare
Haribol.
Krishna.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna translation. Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So Krishna is saying that devotees, they may know about these two paths. What is that light and darkness? So the path which means that going and coming back. But they are never confused by them. They're not even interested actually. They just for the sake of knowing, they know. Like the when light we don't come back, when darkness we come back. They know, but they're not worried about that, not confused by them. Why? Because a devotee's life is never based on calculation. It is based on devotion. A devotee does not sit and worry, oh, will I die at the right time? Will it be day or night? Will it be auspicious moment or not? So that anxiety is not there. Okay, that anxiety itself is material. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you don't need to be disturbed by all this. Don't worry when I will leave my body. Don't at all think about that. Just stay fixed in devotion. Okay, so a devotee, he leaves everything in Krishna's hands. Whether death comes suddenly or gradually, whether it comes at an auspicious time or not, it makes no difference. The devotee is always practicing remembrance. How? By chanting Hare Krishna, by serving, by engaging mind and intelligence in Krishna. because of that constant connection, the path to the spiritual world is guaranteed. Okay, and we see in the purport Prabhupada, he gives the importance to the word yoga yukta. So it means always connected, not renouncing work artificially. It means we are not leaving our responsibilities or duties and we are not running away, but we are adding Krishna to our life, but doing everything in Krishna consciousness. We are eating, working, speaking, serving, everything in connection to Krishna. So that is what Rupa Goswami calls Yukta Vairagya. So this is Yukta Vairagya. Using the world, see, you're using everything in this world in the service of Krishna, but you're not attached to it. Okay, that is Yukta Vairagya. That is needed. Not that everything in this material world, if any activity that we do, it will create karma, good or bad. No. And then renouncing everything and going to the forest and meditating. No. We use everything that is there in the material world in the service of Krishna, and but without expecting any results. Leaving everything just for pleasing Krishna. Leaving everything in Krishna's hands. Whatever happens, Krishna will take care. Okay, so Krishna is telling, don't get lost in fear. In fear, in timing or technical details. Just be steady in your bhakti. If you're fixed in devotion, you will never be bewildered and you will return to Krishna. That is sure. Okay, so last shloka. Mataji, can you please read the shloka and translation, Mataji?
Yes, Madaji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Shloka 8.28. Hare Krishna. Vedeshu yajneshu tapasyasu chaiva.
Tapassu chaiva.
Tapassu chaiva. Correct, Madaji?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, perfect.
Tapas. H, there is a dot, no, Madaji, how to pronounce there? There is a word also, two alphabets are also coming. Tapash.
No, Mataji. Tapah, only H dot is there below H. Below S, there is no dot.
Tapaha shu.
Tapah su. Tapah su.
Su chaiva. Tapaha su chaiva. Daneshu ye punya phalam pradishtam atyedi tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upaidi chadyam.
Hari bol, Hari bol.
Translation: a person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from the studying the Vedas, performing austere sacrifices, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. At the end, he reaches the supreme abode. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, Krishna says that when a person takes to devotional service, he does not lose anything. See, all the results that people try to get by studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, doing severe austerities, giving charity, following philosophical paths, or doing fruitive work, all those results are automatically included in bhakti. So nothing is missing. We need not worry that, oh, I'm not doing this charity, I'm not doing that, this, nothing. All is automatically included in bhakti. So nothing is missing. Okay, normally, according to the Vedic system, a person has to go through a very long process. Okay, what is that? First, strict student life under a guru with discipline, celibacy, service, fasting, and obedience. Okay, after that is over, brahmacharya is over, Then he enters into household life, where he does sacrifices and charity. Okay, then after that, grahastha, then vanaprastha, then retirement. He has to do with penances, right? And then renunciation. Then he has to accept the fourth stage, that is sannyas. Okay, so step by step, life after life, one slowly progresses. And even then, the result may be temporary. He may only get heavenly enjoyment. So, but what happens after that? He again has to come back to this material world once his pious credit is over. But Krishna consciousness is special. Srila Prabhupada says that just by one stroke, simply by sincerely engaging in devotional service, a person surpasses all these complicated rituals. See, bhakti is not against the Vedas, right? Bhakti, it is the essence of the Vedas. What is the essence of the Vedas? To remember Krishna. Okay, so all the benefits of these practices are already present, that are present in the Vedas, are already present in devotion. It's just like watering the root of a tree. See, you don't have to water the branch, the root, the leaf, the fruit, the flower, everything separately. If you water the root of the tree, automatically it nourishes every branch and leaf. Okay? So, like that, if we do bhakti, all is included. Okay, charity or whatever, everything is included. We don't have to do anything separately. So, what do we have to understand? Understand. So, these teachings cannot be understood by dry scholarship or mental speculation. They are understood by, how can you understand, get all this knowledge? By hearing only from devotees, by associating with those who live with this knowledge. So when one hears Bhagavad Gita from a devotee, gradually doubts disappear. Okay, doubts about Krishna, about God, about our own position. So all these doubts get minimized. I mean, they go away. And what happens? As faith grows, devotional service becomes natural and joyful. Initially, it may be forceful, but naturally, as you go on doing devotional service, it becomes natural and joyful. Then studying Bhagavad Gita is no longer, it's not like an exercise, academic exercise, it becomes relishable. Then heart becomes attached to Krishna, and when devotion matures, love for Krishna awakens. Okay, and that love carries the soul to the final destination, that is Krishna's eternal abode, Goloka Vrindavan, where there's no return, where there's no fear, no misery, only eternal happiness and loving service. Okay, so this ends the chapter 8